With the newly announced Nintendo Switch lurking on the horizon, you might be inclined to think the Wii U has been left behind in delivering some of Nintendo's biggest and best gaming experiences. After hands-on at EB Expo early this month though, I'd argue there's still plenty of life left to deliver some of Nintendo's best in The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. In Sydney, I had the chance to play 2 demos. One exploration, where we had the freedom to suss out how the game's movement, combat, and supporting systems felt, and one more directed demo, where we had the curtain pulled back to reveal what felt like the opening of the full game releasing next year. To begin, it needs to be said, this is a gorgeous game that I think will age beautifully. With an anime-esque art style that doesn't sacrifice details, it blends visual ideas from Wind Waker and Skyward Sword and even some of the 3DS remakes to create a world that feels truly alive and fun to explore. The exploration demo dropped us in lush fields and set us free to make our own fun in seeing what the locale had to offer. Small enemy outposts were sprinkled around the area and let us come to terms with the combat system that felt fun and responsive in action. Materials and ingredients could be found in little nooks and crannies that let us mess around with cooking different concoctions from all sorts of bizarre combinations. Feeling more like an action game than Zelda games of late, gameplay felt more refreshing than routine, while still feeling familiar enough to put series diehards at ease. Animation during actions like combat and cooking were incredibly smooth and expressive, and this held up during the cutscenes that opened the second demo we were able to play. Waking from a slumber to a distant voice, this scenario saw Link make his way through the Shrine of Resurrection to acquire the Sheikah Slate. This item is used to guide him, and by extension the player, out to see Hyrule's Great Plateau for the first time, in a sequence that rivals the sense of scale and wonder from Studio Ghibli projects like Princess Mononoke and Ni no Kuni. In exploring and interacting with the world in Breath of the Wild, you can feel the influence and, more importantly, a sense of inspiration drawn from much earlier Zelda titles on the original Nintendo and Super Nintendo systems that make this feel like a breath of fresh air while still instilling a sense of nostalgia in players that have stuck with the series since its debut. While there were a few rough edges in the demo's visuals with regard to blurry textures sometimes, a few pop-ins and a bit of lag, the charming character animations and the consistent world detail more than made up for what will be a much tighter package come release in 2017. While we don't know how the game will fare on the upcoming Nintendo Switch, it's safe to say that if you're wanting to get the game on a more wallet-friendly system, or just keen on the idea of using your Wii U more, you'll find what you're looking for in The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.